This project will be a wide dresser with a mirror above. I've already gotten started by ripping down some of the material to width. Now the first thing I'm going to do after I've ripped all this material is pick out the uglies and put them aside, and then I'm going to cut to length the longest pieces I need first. Now that I've rough cut all of my major stock to length and marked the ends so that I don't get it all mixed up, I'm going to make the final cut to width. That's a lot of parts. At least almost all the parts are identical. I'll be using a system of dados, tongues, and splines to put this case together rather than mortise and tenon joints. It's much simpler to do, and I can do this because all the joinery is inside the case and it's not visible to the outside. I'm going to start off by milling the dados into all the rails and stiles. Next, I'll cut the cheeks for all the tenons on the rails. For the shoulder cuts, I'll use the table saw sled. I've laid out all my parts to make sure they fit together and make sure I'm not missing any pieces. Now I still need to put a few more of these spline grooves in. For example, across the bottom and the top. Now that I'm happy with my dry assembly, I think I can label everything, take it apart, sand it, and then start gluing things up in panels. Since all these pieces can slide up and down, which is a good thing, I am going to need to add in some spacers so that during my glue up I don't have to worry about them moving around. So I'll just cut those out of the same stock as these splines because it's all sized to fit together. Drop these in on each end so that these blocks hold in place properly. I've just finished up milling the drawer runners, and they're going to fit together like this. A spline goes into this, then the runner will fit right on top like that, with that little tongue fitting into a groove in the divider. Now I haven't made the horizontal drawer dividers yet because I'm still waiting on the lumber to dry, but project's coming along. Installing the spacers is straightforward, and you'll notice I've cut them oversized. That's okay, I'll just trim them off with a saw afterwards. Just a little bit of glue. And on to the next one. Once the glue sets up, I'll run this through the table saw, trim everything back to flush. With all my case panels assembled and all my drawer parts cut up, it's time to start sanding. Now that the drawer divider panels are sanded, I can glue the rail runners in place. Hey everybody, I've been away for a few weeks traveling. I'm back now. I've reset up all my equipment and back to work. It's time to start gluing up the top. It's going to be over 5 feet long and just over 18 inches wide, so it's not a small glue up. In order to help me line things up while I do the glue up, I've cut some spline joints in the side, and I'll be gluing up 2 pieces at a time and then gluing the composites together afterwards. Let's get started on that.